All right. Welcome to another Coach's Corner. Very excited. Demetrius Jelatis here with MN Pool Boot Camp, helping bring your game to the next level as the target. So this week, I am going to bring up something about on the mental game side, and I'm excited about the Coach's Corner in the sense that I can take on some of the mental side of pool. One of the challenges is that with learning to play good pool is that you can watch what top players do physically, but you don't get to really see how they think or how they approach the game mentally. And there's a huge gap in thinking between recreational players, amateur players, and professional players. And the more clearly you can look at the game, the better your pool game will follow your mind. So it's a hard subject to start getting into. It can be organized in many different ways. But this week, I want to focus on just one specific aspect of that. And this is because of our conversation about how many times the top players fail. I want to talk a little bit about our attitude towards failure and how we can embrace failure. And so I think this is something that stops a lot of players is that most players, they want to win. I mean, that's what they want. They want to hit their result goals. They want to hit their accomplishments. They want to win tournaments. They want to win matches. And they think that winning is good and that losing, therefore, is bad. And they would like to find a way to win, but they're afraid of losing and they don't like losing. And that poses a problem. And the problem is there is no road to success that is not absolutely paved with failure. And so that's it. There's just everybody, all the top players, they didn't get there because they just won more. They won more because they lost more, and they missed more balls and lost more matches. That's it. The road to pool greatness is failure, 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 win, failure, 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 win, miss, 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 miss. It's just and chokes and miscues and epic meltdowns and huge leads that were squandered and all these different things. All those mistakes are made along the way. And you can't really just get the cherry pick the wins and say, okay, so how does this play out? I see this play out. There's kind of one of three attitudes you could have. Some people are so afraid of the losses that they just don't compete. And it's like, well, why would you be that afraid of loss? And I think I've given a lot of thought to this, and it really kind of comes down to they actually don't even believe that they're actually good enough to ever win. They're like, yeah, winning is something that happens for other people. I don't know if I could ever do that. Could I ever be the guy that wins? Could I ever be the guy? Who am I kidding? And they don't believe that they're a winner. And the reason that they don't believe that they're a winner is because they believe that winners are people that never lose. And so that's true. If a definition of a winner is somebody that never loses, then it's true. They're not a winner because they're not some guy that's just never going to lose. So then they're like, because they have losses and because they know that they're going to lose sometimes, they're like, yeah, there's something wrong with me because I'm not a winner like those guys that always win. And so I don't know if I want to play because if I play, then I can risk loss. And every time they lose, it's really, really painful because in their mind, if I lose, that just proves that I guess I'm just not one of those winning guys. Because here I am, just this loser. So what I'll do? I want to avoid losing, so I won't play. And I've seen this again and again where I've got guys who I ask them what their goals are. Like, well, I'd really like to win a local tournament with some top players in it, and that would be very meaningful to me. And then I ask them, how many times have you played a tournament in the last year? They're like, well, maybe 0 or maybe 1. Like I don't really play many tournaments. And it's like, well, that's not going to get you there. So obviously, like, what's keeping you back? Like, it's very clear you're not going to hit your pool goals without competition. Why aren't you competing? And it's like, well, because if they compete, they're going to lose. And if they lose, then they think that proves that there's something defective and they're just one of those players that doesn't have what it takes to be a success. And so bottom line, that's one strategy of handling loss in pools to not play and run from that. And then the second strategy is to delude yourself and pep talk yourself and be like, tell you what, you hate to lose. You don't want to lose because it's going to prove you're a failure. But what you can do is you're just not going to lose. You're going to win it this time. Don't worry. This is your day. You're going to get it. And they like slap themselves in the face and pump themselves up and like, today I'm going to win. 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 And then they go into this tournament like just terrified that they're wrong and that they're going to lose and get heartbroken. But they're like, no, I think I can. I think I can. Today I'm a winner. I'm going to prove I'm a winner. I'm the guy that never loses. I'm going to win today. And then they go out there and there's a huge problem with this mindset, which is when you're not realistic, you've got your delusion, you've got this, fantasy or this, imaginary land that you're trying to convince yourself that you're the main character of a movie and you're going to make the 3-pointer at the buzzer. But the problem is reality is there trying to intrude. And the reality is other players that you can't control are going to do what they're going to do. And they're trying to eliminate you from the tournament. And odds are it'll happen. And odds are you're going to lose. So when your dream that you're trying to believe in collides with the reality that's bursting in, it creates very unpleasant situation, and it puts a lot of pressure on you if you're so terrified of loss that you think that a loss means that you're a failure as a human and as a player, and that you're never going to hit your pool of goals and everything's horrible in the world. Then if that's how much pressure is on you on every shot, is that every miss threatens your whole universe, then it's hard to play freely and confidently with that kind of tension. And so strategy 1 is to not compete. Strategy 2 is to try to delude yourself into thinking you're never going to fail and that today's your day, which just creates a ton of pressure, causes meltdowns, and a lot of pain after the fact. The third strategy towards failure is to say, I understand that you can't have success without failure. But also, I understand that you can't have failure without success. And so rather than trying to find a way to cherry pick the successes out without getting stung by the thorns of failure, how about I just embrace failures? If I'm going to have 9 losses for every win in a tournament or 19 losses for every tournament win, what stops people in their road to success is not the successes, it's the failures. And if you understand that, you say, tell you what, forget about trying to get the wins. I don't need to try to get the wins. The wins will happen when they happen. Why don't I just go try to collect failures? Why don't I go out and try to fail out of 19 tournaments? Because if I can go fail out of 19 tournaments, odds are I'm going to end up winning something, and someday somebody will hand me an envelope of money and take my picture, and that'll be pretty cool. But that's not the reality. The reality is not that I'm the player that's always going to win, but the reality is that if I enter enough tournaments and give myself enough at bats, and I'm okay handling the losses, and I'm not putting extra pressure on myself, and I'm not letting this deter me from competition, then the reality is that I will get better and I will achieve some amazing things in pool. And so my advice would be to collect losses and to embrace losses and look at them as steps in the right direction, not steps in the wrong direction, not steps that something's wrong, but steps that something's right. Because all the great players I know laugh off failure, and it doesn't break their stride, and they regroup hard, and they're just like, well, they come back strong the next time, and it doesn't change their image of themselves because they're realistic and they know that that's part of what's going to happen. And the players that I see that are trying to be the guy that doesn't fail, those are the people that I see getting stagnant, avoiding competition, putting too much pressure on themselves, playing too intermittently, and playing too tight. And so I think that instead of trying to hit the successes in pool, I say you go out and collect failures and go try to lose out of your next tournament. Go try to make your choke on your next 9-ball. You just go collect the chokes and the losses and smile about it, because there's going to be a lot of them. And if you go try to collect a lot of those, if you can collect more miscues, choked 9-balls, and losses than anyone else, odds are you're also going to end up with more wins, just as an inevitability. So that's my advice. And once again, Demetrius here with MN Pool Bootcamp. You can check out my website, www.mnpoolbootcamp.com. And by the way, I'm not just providing local instruction. I do boot camps for players across the country. So I love hearing from people from coast to coast. Summertime's coming pretty soon. Love to have you guys book a few days, come train with me, and I can help you take your game to the next level. Thanks.